Hey everybody, this is Rustyn with Metalholic Magazine, Mojo Radio, and The Examiner. Here today with Marty McCoy of Bobaflex. How the hell are you doing, man?
Oh, doing great. Actually, it's funnest time of my life right now, actually.
Nice. Couple days off, then you guys kick off the weekend in Syracuse, I think?
Yep. Syracuse, New York has been really great to us. Our single hit pretty high on the charts up here. I think it got in like the top 10, and they make amazing wings, and our tattoo artist is up here. Our tattoo artist we found for life, and it's kind of like family in Syracuse. Been here a couple times, and I know everybody already.
Second home. And now
third or fourth.
There you go. And you guys will be heading back home for Thanksgiving to do a show there, right?
Yeah. We'll be in Huntington, West Virginia, which is a place that we came up in, and is that's our our mainstay. That's our home for sure. That's the place that helped us create our sound and learn the club circuit and all that stuff. So we can't wait to go home. It'll be the first time we got to eat Thanksgiving dinner in probably about 5 years at home. So
nice.
Kind of exciting.
So what are you thankful for this year?
Thankful for BFX Records. Thankful for all the record labels and turning their backs on us and us having to do it on our own. And smartest thing we've ever done. And it was done by default. I wanted a big record deal, but it wasn't in the cards for us. And then as soon as they turned their backs on us, we put our heads together and got business savvy and did our thing, and the record's doing great.
It definitely is, and great record. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I can't recall off the top of my head another band from West Virginia. What's it like coming out of that scene?
Karma to Burn. You ever heard of Karma to Burn?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, we just talked about
West Virginia.
Stoner metal.
Yeah, I remember when they were first coming up, and we were around, but we were just kids, and I remember sneaking into clubs and watching Karma to Burn play. Just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Who else? Byzantine's out of West Virginia. We came up with those guys, too. I lived right across the street from the guys in Byzantine, and they were really, really cool cats, and still good friends with those guys. Other than that, I don't know who the heck else comes from West Virginia. Don Knotts and one of the actors, the girl that was in Daredevil. That's about all we got. Randy Moss.
So what band or album made you want to strap on a guitar and pursue music?
Appetite for Destruction. Yeah, it was probably the first record that I was just like, what is this? And it was scary, and I thought the guys would eat me if I met them in person. And then I got into Metallica, but Appetite for Destruction was probably the first time I was like, I want to play guitar. I think the first music that got me into music, though, and I knew I wanted to be in a rock band, was the River Bottom Nightmare Band from the Emma Otter's Jug Band Christmas Special.
Classic. I love that.
Do you remember that movie?
I do. I'm old enough to remember that really well.
And you had to have HBO, because people that didn't have HBO have no idea what I'm talking about. And my parents, I came home for a few days. We had a funeral, a death in the family of the band, and we had to come home and cancel a couple of tour dates. And I got home to my parents' house, and I hadn't seen them in a while. And my dad, I was asleep, and about 4 in the morning when he got home, he slid a new copy of Emma Otter's Jug Band Christmas under my door. And I was like, it brought back all these memories. I was like, oh, yes.
I love that. That was a classic for sure. So, and when I was listening to the album, as a matter of fact, I was just sort of re-listening to it right before I called you. There were moments where I was like, here it's been 15, 17 years between albums for Guns N' Roses, and they put out Chinese Democracy, or Axl did, and I thought,
right. There were some good songs on it.
But
a few.
Nothing they've ever done has recaptured Appetite for Destruction, but when I was listening to your album, there were moments I was like, this is the album that the band should have made. There were moments that recalled for me that album. Interesting that you should say that. So
that's awesome. I mean, I can't believe you said that. I can quit right now. It's done. I don't have to play anymore. That's all I needed. I've made it.
Now, the new album, Hell in My Heart, has been a long time coming, and you guys have sort of gone through hell to get it out there.
That is true. The best thing that we had ever done, TBT Records was really cool to us, and we had some people over there. I know they get a bum rap, and people hate on that record label, and whatever. You know what I mean? I understand why people hate on that label and things have happened. But we had some people over there that were really good to us and really cared about the band and really pushed and, spent Steve Gottlieb's money on us in ignorant places when they shouldn't have, probably, and and it helped us a lot. I don't know if it helped the record label any, but it really helped us. And when TVT went bankrupt, when a record label goes bankrupt, nobody has any idea what's going on. Not even the $300 an hour bankruptcy attorney that we had to hire, or the $400 an hour litigation attorney that we had to hire. Nobody knows what's going on. So we toured for 2 years selling T-shirts just to be able to try to get our music back, and we never did. We never got it. It went into the bank, owns it, and Orchard Music bought it, and all that stuff. And it was a rough thing, and we couldn't even keep the name or anything. And they're like, okay, you're free, you're not free. You're free, you're not free. So I saw a documentary on Tom Petty, and Tom Petty had the same kind of thing go on, and he filed bankruptcy, and he was free and clear, and we were bankrupt as it is anyway. We were selling T-shirts, barely, sleeping on the floor, not eating anything. And so we filed bankruptcy and got out all of it, and we were able to keep our our name and be the band that we were going to be. And we instantly had to get right back in the studio and get the record out. We had some record labels on the table, and it just, the industry's messed up now. And I've been in it too long to be a wide-eyed little kid and give somebody 75% of everything and me do all the work, and you know what I mean? So we were like, all right, these labels wanted to do this deal, these 360 deals, we're not really into it. In 5 years, CDs are going to be gone, and you don't need a record label to put your shit on the internet. So that's what we did. We decided against signing with a big record label and decided to do the album on our own and produce it ourselves. And we had some help from Chuck Halkazian, who did some good tracks, some help from Joe Veers, who did some really cool tracks, and we were just doing what we wanted to do. And we've been through so much: divorce, death in the family, record label going bankrupt, booking agents leaving us, management leaving us, everybody, it's over with for you guys. And we just were determined to not let that happen. And we started to play and playing, and the shows got bigger when they should have got smaller. And, we met everybody at radio, and we've met everybody. We've been all over the country. So we started going back to our radio people, and we released the song Guns. We hired New Ocean Media, which is a badass company. Got with UEG, which was, those guys with men is Nickelback and Hinder, and a friend of ours that signed us to TVT Records moved over to UEG, and he's our manager, Lenny Johnson, and things just started to work. I mean, we kept our heads down and just went. And it's like, we're proving everybody wrong. Everybody's wrong. We think we're a cool band. The guys in the suits, they're 60 years old, are trying to tell us what's cool. They don't know what the kids want, and we're, just didn't let anybody tell us. We didn't listen to what anybody said, and they said a lot of stuff.
Now, the album title, Hell in My Heart, is that sort of a play on what you guys have sort of been going through and how you were feeling?
The whole record are true stories. From Chemical Valley to Bury Me With My Guns, everything's a true story, and it comes from the heart. And everybody wrote on this record, songs that are prior records that record labels would have said, that song doesn't make sense on this record. It's like, well, we are the record label, and everybody in the band has been through so much. This guy wants this song on the record. It's going on the record whether I like the song or not. It's his record. And it ended up turning out really cool and something different. And it's my favorite record out of all the ones that we've done and out of all the records that are out right now. I know it's lame, but I still listen to my own record. I'm like, gosh, these guys are cool. If I was a kid, I'd be like, that Marty McCoy is good looking, and what in the hell, he's awesome.
Now, you guys packed a lot of music onto the CD. Was that in part to make up for the weight?
Yeah, well, anytime, we've been on a couple different record labels, and they always say you can only do 11 songs. And they're like, you only get paid for 11 songs. You're only putting 11 songs on the tracks. It's like, well, it's a major record label, so I'm not even paid for any of the songs. So and that was always an industry thing. If you have to put 11 songs on, it's like, heck with that, man. If you're going to have someone they can download it for free. If you're going to have them go to the store and buy it, make it worth the $10. Make it, if it's $12 and there's only 11 songs on it, it's like, that's more than $1 a track. Heck with that. And music is, I wouldn't say music is free, but it's definitely dollar menu time. It's $5 for a long time. It's like, you better give them some more bang for their buck. And we had just written so much and had so much stuff going on and loved all the songs. And there's still songs that didn't make the record. I mean, we probably wrote 30 songs. I mean, we're working on a new record right now. And it's just like, if you got the songs, you really believe in them, you don't have to listen to a label. You can do whatever you want. And we put 16 tracks on it, and our fans love it and just think it's great. And it's just something else to do. It's a big middle finger to. That's why I got in a rock band, so nobody could tell me what to do. And everybody's like, well, you can only put 11 tracks on. It's like, all right, here's 16. Why'd you do that? Because you don't tell me what to do. I'm in a rock band. I don't work 9 to 5.
That's sort of the great thing about, there's a lot of downside to the way the music industry's changed and how technology has made the music so accessible. But on the plus side, it's easier for bands to make records now. They've got all these tools for it. You can almost do it yourself.
We're doing it ourselves. The next record.
So
a great tool system, 96 tracks. It's got a Mac that's the top of the line Mac. It's 12 cores in it, and we're doing the next record at our house. You know what I mean? It's going to be awesome. And it's great. The power has come back to the artist. Radio is people that say radio is gone. That's insane. Radio is not gone. Radio has changed our lives in the last 6-7 months. But you know what I mean. Now radio is starting to get away from the safe sound that the labels are shoving down their throat. There's more things popping up. They're getting hip to it. I mean, they're still program directors are still a little skittish about someone that's on an independent label and this and that, but they're getting hip to it, and it's going to come back to the artist again, and there's going to be a lot more diverse music going on that becomes popular, and I'm happy about that.
And I think, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but if we want to get people engaged in buying the music again as opposed to just stealing it, you make the physical album, and vinyl's coming back in a big way too. You make that the 10.
I would love to have a vinyl record. I wish vinyl would come back. I remember getting the album covers, because album covers now don't translate like they used to. I remember getting like the Kiss record and it being huge and looking at it and freaking out and opening it up and looking at every little thing and reading every little thing and like Molly Hatchet artwork and stuff where you could see, on a CD cover you can't see what's going on in the hills in the background. On an album cover you can. These big Frank Frazetta paintings and stuff, and I love that. Yeah, and that would be great to me.
Just sit there holding that album cover, reading the lyrics and the stuff inside, having to get up and flip the sides. It engaged you more in what was going on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you didn't lay there and fall asleep to it.
But it almost seems like it would make more sense if they're going to charge $10, $12 for the album. They would do that for the physical album, and the people who are going to download it charge $5 or something like that to give them the impetus to pay for it. I don't know, just my thought, but.
Absolutely, no, that makes sense. And it's like, some people don't want the artwork, and some people only want one song, and I think it's great. I mean, we're in the future, we're Blade running it right now. It's Blade Runner time. You got a computer in your hand that you can call your cell phone, and I remember it's great, and you have to change with the times, and the weak will fall, and the good bands will rise to the top. It's the survival of the fittest, and tech savvy people will have their day, but if their product sucks, they won't last very long. And the bands that write good songs, they'll rise to the top. And it's coming back to the live show, and it's coming back to you're getting albums now. I think that you're like with Mastodon and bands like that, you're not getting 2 songs and a bunch of crap, and everybody's throwing it's ready. Now you're getting albums like the '70s again. When you put it on, it's a journey from the beginning to the end, and it can go all over the place. And I think that's great. I mean, I miss that about music. I miss 3 and 4 different singers and everybody singing and different sounds on a record. It's like this whole streamlined McDonald's crap I hate. And so does everybody else. They may not know it, but subliminally, records aren't selling the way they used to. So subliminally, you can see it on the writings on the wall.
Yeah, I remember that when I used to go. I mean, as soon as it came out, I'd race to buy the newest Kiss album, and you'd have an album with 4 different guys all singing on the same album.
Absolutely. That's what I don't understand. Our sound, the Bobaflex sound was a double-edged sword, because I sing, my brother sings, my bass player sings like a lark. I mean, he can sing his little buns off. But are we allowed to cuss?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, he can sing his I was trying to be, I just kept saying stupid stuff. Anyway, he can sing his little ass off, and it's just, that's the way bands used to be to me. I remember getting a Kiss record or watching the Eagles play, or my dad and I used to watch the band every Saturday, the band Last Waltz video, and all these guys sang, and even down to the Cars had 2 different singers, and you know what I mean? Pink Floyd, one of my favorite bands, had 3 singers, Richard Wright sang and everything, and that's the way I thought it was supposed to be. And so when we started this band and everything, everybody sang, and it wasn't any big deal to me, but all the record labels were like, we don't understand this. There's 2 lead singers, there's 3 lead singers. What is this? It's like, it's music. It's a band. It was not put together in Hollywood with, who had the coolest haircut. It was put together in a town where everybody played together and everybody sang together since they were kids, and that's what a band's supposed to be, right? And no, now it's finally coming around that people think it's cool, but at first it freaked people out, and I didn't understand it. That's the music that I grew up on. It's like everybody sings, everybody plays, and it's fun. And it's a band. It's not one guy that's good looking and 4 dudes in the background with the same haircut. It's not put together in this, put together on a television show, or it's not taken, we pick this guy from this city, this guy from this city. Let's all get them together, put them with a vocal coach, and write their songs. That's not what it is. It's a band, and people write songs, and you can write shitty songs, and it's great. Who cares? As long as it's real. And I think the more real it is, the more people get into it.
Yeah, music's totally lost its organic nature, and it's finally starting to come back around.
You knew it would, though. You knew it would. The 10-year cycle was on its way. It's eating itself. And, radios is people at radio are tired of the safe rock and tired of the stuff that, I like some of the bands that are on the radio and nothing against them, but I'm not scared of any of them. And when I was a kid, that was a very important part to me, to be in a badass rock band, is you kind of had to be a little bit scared of the guys in the band. They looked scary. You know what I mean? Like, I remember singing Motley Crue was satanic. Oh, my God. For sure, Nikki Sixx was satanic, and I was like, they worshiped the devil. I mean, it was awesome. We had it happen to us one time. We were down in Texas, and Song Guns was doing really well in Texas, and we had a religious group come out and protest the show, and had a big cross. They were really nice people. They weren't the crazy people, God hates fags people. That wasn't them. But they were really nice people, but they were like tore up about the song content, and they were outside protesting the show, and gosh, it made me happy. I was like, look at that. Look, I called my mom, took a picture. Look, they're protesting our show.
It's a proud day in the McCoy family.
Absolutely, because some of my favorite bands, like Marilyn Manson, I love Marilyn Manson. People can say what they want about him. Oh, it's all show. No, if his song sucked, he wouldn't be as big as he was. But that whole thing of, people just freaking out over art and freaking out over stories. I mean, songs are stories. Even if they're true stories, they're stories. And people freaking out, and you're making our kids do this. It's like, no, that's just silly. You know what I mean? So when they were outside with the big crosses and stuff, I was like, yes, I think this song is going to be a hit.
And meanwhile, everybody's addicted to reality TV. So
Right. Reality TV. That's just crazy. It's like, I want to see fake stories again.
Now, how does the songwriting process work in the band?
Everybody writes, and everybody writes a lot. And everybody writes so fast that when you sit in the room, I mean, it's almost like you got to get your coffee and get your games, like almost like you're playing whack-a-mole or something. You have to be ready because these ideas are going to pop up and so fast. And all, I enjoy everybody's writing in the band, and I think they're great. So it's like it's almost like you got to hurry up and get your idea in.
Now,
because they're coming out like they're just flowing out of everybody. The guys are so creative, and it's awesome. You just sit and pick. That's great. All right, run it, go. All right, didn't work. That's great, go. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Now, how do you decide which songs you sing, which one Sean sings?
Just, whoever's voice is, best for it. Sean's got that real gravelly, kind of higher. It's not higher. Jared has the high voice. Jared has a really high-pitched voice and can do a lot of the falsettos and a lot of the Queenie kind of stuff, which I really like a lot, and does a lot of the harmonies. And he started coming out and singing, and just now, it's like whoever wants to sing it. Like, I'll write songs and go, Sean, this is better for your voice, or he'll write songs, Marty, this one's perfect for you, or same thing with Jared. You just kind of know. Like, I'm kind of in the middle, Sean's kind of lower, and Jared's kind of higher, you know what I mean? So it's just like, just whatever the tone feels right. It's like, all right, this is going to be great for your voice, or, if I wrote something and I really feel strong about, I'll sing it, and they're all cool with it. Same way, Jared wrote something or Sean wrote something. It's like, listen, I've been working on this. I really like to sing a song. It's like, yeah, let's hear it. And just cool. You know what I mean? My favorite sound of the band is when we're all three singing through a song. Like, my favorite song on the record is Chemical Valley. To me, that's the sound of the band.
Right.
And I'm singing, Sean's singing, Jared's singing, and we're full blasting almost all the way through. You know what I'm saying? We're going back and forth and answering lines back and forth, and that's my favorite sound is when everybody's singing from the get.
Oh, it's got to be a ball to play live too. So.
Oh my God, it's so much fun live, and we've played live so much. I mean, we're one of those bands that we built everything from playing live. I think that's the way you got to do it. You know what I mean? You can luck out and you can have a big radio hit and not draw 50 people at the club, or you can, be like us and sell out the same club and the radio station doesn't even know you're a band.
That's the thing. It's everybody's got to be road dogs anymore, because that's getting back to the heart of it, and that's probably where you sell most of your physical albums anyway, is the people buying them after the show. So now I gotta say, of all the songs on all the albums in all of the world, how did you pick Sound of Silence to cover?
My bass player has an amazing voice. Jared has an amazing voice, and he sings really, really well. And he's gotten to showcase it a lot, but I really wanted him to sing a lead on the record. And, really wanted to be like, hey, Jared, and he was against it. Everybody was against it. My drummer and I found the song, and it was perfect for his voice. And, he can sing. He sounds kind of like Garfunkel a little bit. I always thought that when I first heard him sing. And I could do the Paul Simon parts, and we both just sing together. And it wouldn't, it was kind of like he's singing lead, I'm singing lead. We're both singing together or whatever, but I just thought it would be perfect for his voice. And we forced it on everybody. Everybody hated the idea. My drummer and I went and figured the whole song out and recorded it and, snuck around and got it all done and brought it to the table. And it's like, please sing. I'd already done my harmony. So I said, please, Jared, sing. And he did. And it wasn't about 5 seconds into it, everybody knew, yeah, this is going on the record. It was a good decision. And the reason why, so I was looking for a song for him to sing for sure. And it was perfect for him. And I saw on the, I think it was the induction to the Hall of Fame. I saw the ceremonies, and it was all these bands playing U2, Metallica. Everybody was great. And then Simon and Garfunkel came out with a little acoustic guitar, and those two dudes stood around a mic and just dusted everybody's ass. And I knew right then and there. I was like, I've been looking for a song, and it's when it hit me. I was like, there it is. It's beautiful. It's already a massive song. Everybody knows it. And if you do it right, if you do it justice, then everything will be okay. If you miss, then everything's fucked.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? If you miss, this is the end of your band, and people will laugh you out of town. But he just, we arranged it right, and we stayed. We're singing the exact same thing as the original, and didn't change it. It rocked out a little bit. It's 30 years later or whatever. It's going to rock out a little bit more, but we didn't change it and do we're going to make it a road. It's like, it's already the best song in the world. Don't fuck it up. So we just tried to do a nice cover, and it turned out really nice. I remember getting it done, and just the second that it was done, I was like, uh-oh, this is going on the record.
It's a great, very fresh rendition, but again, stays true to the classic, but it's still, it's got something that's uniquely you guys, and it really sounds great. So now it's almost Christmas. If you guys were to cover a Christmas tune, what song would you do?
Dead by Christmas by Hanoi Rocks.
Nice. Okay, total randomness here before we get out of here. For or against the death penalty?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's too hard to say. Sometimes I'm for it. Sometimes I'm against it. I'm for it. Yeah, if somebody does something heinous, dust, take them out. I don't want to be the one that pushes the button, which means I guess I wouldn't be for it totally. But, I mean, if it happens somewhere far off that I don't have to see it, I guess, yeah, drop his ass if you did something real fucked up.
Fastest you've ever driven a car?
160.
160. What is your ultimate car? If you could have a car what's your dream car?
Old Mach. My dad had a Mach 1 Mustang or a Mach 2 Mustang. I don't know. My dad's a big car guy. I'm so lame I can barely change the oil. But I don't know. One of the newer Mustangs would be awesome. One of the newer the Chargers would be awesome. I'd take anything. If it got me from point A to point B and didn't smoke, I'd take whatever you have. But I might have a Harley.
There you go. That's your ultimate car is a Harley.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to ride a bike without a helmet and be free in the world.
Judas Priest or Kiss?
Kiss.
Marianne or Ginger?
Ginger.
Guitars or girls?
Both.
Cheat. Favorite beer?
Favorite beer? Jägermeister. I don't drink beer.
There you go. Bong or blunt?
Oh, bong. Yeah, for sure.
Marty McCoy of Bobaflex, tearing it up. What are you guys up to after the holidays? What's next on tap for you guys? You said you were getting ready to start recording the new album. Is that in between?
We're already recording songs for the new record we had out in January and February, coast to coast, with good friends of ours by the name of Royal Bliss.
Right.
Became great friends with that band and did a tour January and February of last year, and it turned out really well. And now we've both done a lot of cool things since then, and we're teaming back up and going through their hot markets and our hot markets, which now expands across the entire country. And we are going to tear up the nation with the Royal Bliss Bobaflex Molest the U.S. tour.
Nice. And when do you think that new album might have finished up recording and be available to fans? Is that sometime late next year?
Yeah, Hell of My Heart came out in August. We're going to try to at least, at the latest, have it out by August of next year. But, I mean, there's a lot of songs, and now we just upgraded the whole Pro Tools system. We're full-blown in our backyard. We don't have to go anywhere. It's like, I don't know, we might write a double album. Who knows? Oh, by the way, I didn't even ask. Appetite for Destruction changed my life. Favorite band of all time? Pink Floyd.
Interesting. How
Favorite
interesting.
band of all time.
Why that? Why them? What is it about them?
I don't know. I just remember it had to do with the same time I started smoking weed when I was about 14. And just was one of those weird bands that everything that they ever did, I loved every song that they ever had. I mean, I even went back and got CDs where, it sounded like old Beatles, and Sid Barrett was, before Sid Barrett was crazy, and just songs that no one's ever heard. And my drummer and I just really freaked out and got into Pink Floyd when we were really, really young. And then, the singers, there's several singers, and big, huge blues guitar, and just loved it. The whole storytelling aspect of it. And I don't know, Pink Floyd is just one of the best bands on the planet. Ask you a question.
Fire away.
Elvis or Beatles?
Elvis or Beatles?
Elvis or Beatles?
Beatles. Elvis had the showmanship, but Beatles had the songs.
Yeah. Elvis had some songs, man. He was pretty damn charming. But I just watched a huge conspiracy video on the death of Paul McCartney in 1966. You know this story, right?
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was called The Last Testament of, George Harris. And it was terrible, and it was so unconvincing. It was almost like watching the comedy.
I had a roommate once when I was a teenager, total Beatles fanatic, and she sat there with me one night for hours and went through the whole conspiracy about him walking barefoot across the Abbey Road album, and all the little signs and the backmasking Paul is dead. So it begs the question then, if Pink Floyd's your band, did you ever do the Dark Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz thing?
Yeah. On acid, I got you beat.
Awesome. Marty McCoy of Bobaflex, thanks so much for taking the time. Be safe. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time you're in town, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for the interview, man.